Hey y'all. So I'm in the process of cleaning the kitchen and I heard the tractor down here in the garden and I thought, what's he doing down there? And so I poked my head out the door and lo and behold, he is disking this garden. So it must be dry enough. He had plowed it earlier in the week and this is just heartwarming. This means that I'll have a chance to go ahead and I don't drive Big Blue. I drive the Kubota and I can drive the 8N if I have to. I don't really like to. But this guy right here, no. I am not getting on Big Blue ever again. I tried driving him one time and it was a very unpleasant experience. So anyway, he gets to do the disking. If there's time before the rain, I might go ahead and just run whatever that little thing is that grinds things up really nicely. Oh, good gravy. One of these days I probably need to go to a doctor and have a dementia test myself. Oh gracious. But the rotavator, there we go. I need to write that word down somewhere so I can see it easily. But this might be enough because over the course of the winter, when it rains and freezes, or snows and melts and freezes, these dirt clods they'll bust apart. And then this spring, I will just go ahead and rotivate when I get ready to start there's a piece of wood down there I need to get up. When I get ready to start the rows. But yeah, this is a good day. And my goodness, is the weather gorgeous here. There is not literally a cloud in the sky. Nowhere. I actually see the moon up there. Do you see it? Huh. But yeah, not a sign of a cloud anywhere. And it is just a gorgeous, gorgeous morning. I haven't looked at the weather in a few days to see how many dry days we have left. But I don't think a whole lot. It seems like you told me that it was supposed to rain maybe within the next few days. So if that's the case, I need to get down here as soon as he gets this finished and go ahead and get the winter wheat on it. If the winter wheat takes root pretty quickly, it will continue growing this winter. If it just kind of lays there and piddles all winter, then it'll be springtime before it will actually start growing. It's what we experienced last year, if you remember. I didn't think it was going to do anything because it just didn't seem to be happy at all. But look, there comes that big military plane. It comes over every now and then. It flies really low in here for the purpose of training, I guess. My kids used to love to see it when they were young. But flies out of the Asheville airport, I think. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, it didn't really start growing well until up in February and March. And then, of course, had to extinguish it about May so that we could get our summer crops ready to go in the ground. This year, we'll be putting our our cool season hardy annuals in the ground here. So whatever it does, 1/3 of this garden will be extinguished probably in about March. So hopefully it will have had a chance at that point to have a nice stand. But oh, I did want to mention something to y'all. My channel, I don't really know. I mean, it is monetized. I'm not sure what that means because my channel never makes hardly anything at all. And Aaron has offered to look at it and see if there's some buttons I need to push to make it, you know, a little bit more financially lucrative. But I don't really care. If it means that there's going to be more commercials throughout the video, I'm just not open to that. But I do not actually, when I do a Political Patti, I do not even do any monetization at all, which means there won't be any videos or any advertisements. And I told y'all the reason for that is because I don't want you to have to listen to me and watch a commercial. So, but another thing, when I do a Political Patti, I am not answering the comments. I could get really long-winded answering the comments because it seems that the vast majority of you agree with me, and I appreciate that. And I think that I can safely say that by agreeing with me that you agree that we need to continue to be a free country that follows the rule of law and not a fascist country or an oligarchy or an authoritarian regime or whatever. But so what I'm doing for those videos, just to keep myself from just getting really bogged down answering questions, because I could spend the whole day it's being political. I am a political geek, and once I start, it's hard for me to shut up. It's like I'm talking and I can't shut up. So it's better for me just to acknowledge the fact that I've read your comments and to just appreciate you. And I do. I appreciate all of you that are fighting alongside of us to just protect this country from what we see happening. And so I thought I'd throw that in. I think I'm going to start trying to make that mention at the beginning of each video, because I do love reading the comments, but I need to not take the time to answer the comments. What are you doing, Huey? Oh, that must have been a really big clod of... Yeah, that was a big clod down there. But I need to resist the temptation to take the time to answer the comments in the political videos, because, you know, like I said, it would eat up a day. But I know you all understand it. I appreciate you. You truly are friends. I feel like I know so many of you. I feel like I've just, you know, even though it's hard to, you know, in 30 minutes, I know, especially when I was doing the encouragement circle, I had so many little sweet people say, Patti, you are such a sweet person, and and y'all don't know how funny I find that. And I mean, actually, I read some of these comments to Hugh, and he just kind of grins, like, yeah, yeah, they don't know. But I'm not a sweet person. I feel like I am. I try to be a kind person. I try to treat people fairly. I try to just be the kind of person, just follow the golden rule. Just try to treat others the way that I would want to be treated. But I have a really low threshold for nonsense. Have absolutely no patience for those who are just absolutely, and I use that word too often, I apologize, trying to destroy this country for their own purposes. And one of the things that I wish more than anything is that folks who have bought into it, that they could just understand that you're not on the radar at all of the people who are trying to damage our nation beyond belief. I was watching this morning a video about the farmers that are just being destroyed, and the point was being made that they voted for it, and so that's just kind of too bad, so sad. And y'all, I can on one hand understand that, because most of them voted for it 3 times. And even in the last election, I'm gonna have to label this one Political Patti Part 2, I guess. But those of them who voted for it a 3rd time, they know that Trump destroyed, with the tariffs, Trump destroyed their market the first time. And as a matter of fact, we bailed the farmers out at the tune of $28 billion, and that was just one bailout that I know of. I don't know if there was another one, but we bailed them out at a tune of $28 billion because they were sinking. And so many farmers, went bankrupt during Trump's first administration. And what happened? He destroyed their market with China. And China is the #1 soy purchaser for United States soy farmers. And so China began to look for soy markets in other parts of the world, and they found them. So a whole lot of the market never even returned to the American farmer. Well, this time around, as Trump has again tariffed China and destroyed the market for our soy farmers, our soy farmers are selling nothing to China at this point in time. Absolutely nothing. And the soy is just sitting in their silos and just, it's going to waste, because there's not another market, that they don't have a backup market. And so Trump promised them, another bailout. Honestly, I do struggle with that when they could have looked ahead and realized what was going to happen. I do get frustrated with the fact that they were just hoping for a bailout, or expecting a bailout from Trump, even when Trump was going to enact the tariffs, and then they knew he was, because he told them. And so that does just irritate me to the extreme. And when people talk about welfare, no one seems to understand that when the government gives bailouts to, and I'm not criticizing it, because farmers, there's a lot of instances where there is no way that they could continue to produce when you're completely and totally reliant on the weather, and you're reliant on there's so many variables in farming, that I think having that safeguard to protect our farmers, because we all do. We don't depend on soybean farmers so much, but we do depend on farming in this country. So it's good to protect them to an extent, but that is a type of welfare, y'all. And for us to, in corporations that are getting all of these subsidies, all of these tax cuts, all of these things, to the point that they're just basically surviving on the tax dollar of the American people. They're being paid enormous amounts of money, and these people are not self-made anything. They totally depend on the government, and they totally depend on the fact that we the people, we pay for the educational system, we pay for the infrastructure, everything that these big giant corporations take advantage of, we've paid for with our tax dollar. And they should not be allowed to just scoot around tax without paying their fair share of taxes. But yeah, this is going to have to be Political Patty Part 2. But this is just heavy on my heart right now. I just feel like so many people that just basically don't really take the time to read and understand what's actually happening, what's at the root of so many of these problems, that they don't understand how things actually work in this country. They're being duped, and it's benefiting one class of people and one class of people only. It's benefiting the uber wealthy and the rest of them, including the American farmer, including the low income, the middle class. We're all suffering the result of voting for a system that basically is indebted and cowtails only to the oligarchs, the uber wealthy in this country. And it has been that way ever since Reagan enacted the whole trickle-down economics. And you can go into your Google search and search out charts showing you what has happened over the past 50 years or so. Look at how the wealth gap has increased, not just by a little bit, y'all. It is a chasm, unbelievable, an unbelievable chasm. And those of us down here in the blue and white collar world, we just continue to have less money to survive on, and the uber wealthy are gobbling it up right and left. As a matter of fact, I was looking at a chart the other day that was showing how people like Elon Musk had gone from, like, I don't know, 40-some billion 10 years ago. You'll have to, don't take my word for it. Double check it yourself. But he's now at $500 billion. He is expected to become the first trillionaire ever. And the same thing with Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. These people, were significantly, unbelievably wealthy. Monies that most of us could never even imagine. And they're in the hundreds of billions of dollars now. And the real problem with that is that if these people would just put their little money in their little, own banking accounts and offshore accounts and wherever they want to park that money, that's fine. But they're parking it in our political system. They're parking it in such a way that they can have their voices heard above everybody else. In this country at this point, you pretty much have to be very, very wealthy and be willing to poke your money into somebody's pocket in order to have a voice. And that is not what this country is supposed to be about. Every one of us are supposed to have an equal voice. But when you have someone like Elon Musk that spent $240 million in this last presidential election, no, it's not right. And that was something that was changed probably 25 years ago, with the citizens, whatever the name of that particular law was that the Supreme Court overturned. It's not right. It is not right. No one, regardless of their wealth or lack thereof, should have that kind of a voice in our government, in the system. And that's the reason that the uber wealthy need to start paying their fair share. Absolutely they do. We are at a point in time when things need to change, y'all. And I don't know how it's going to come about. I don't know. But I do know that until it does, our country's going to really struggle. We're going to really struggle. All right. So I guess he's coming the other direction. I guess he's just going to take care of that really big plotty area on the edge. Oh, and by the way, he likes being a movie star. It is so very, very, very cute. Because I tell him all the time, and it is the truth. I say, honey, the videos that I put up that have you as the star, I said, typically those are the ones that get the most views. And he just grins. He thinks that's so funny. I think it's cute. But so I even tell him sometimes, you know what? I've got to get a video of you because I've not had many views lately. So I've got to get a video of you so that we can increase our viewership. Oh, he is a funny dude, y'all. But I am out here enjoying the sunshine, and there's like 15 gazillion things inside that I've got to get done today. When you've just finished a season of farming, there's a whole lot inside that typically just has been neglected throughout the summer season, and when it starts turning cooler, that's when it's time to step back in and start getting things back under control. So I'm trying to do that, but I just thought y'all would enjoy watching him. He's going to run over this plastic, and I'm afraid that he's going to end up getting it wrapped around the... No, he didn't. All right, let's go down here and move it before he does get it all wrapped up. All right. But in the meantime, he is working inside also, and I appreciate that because there's so many things. I've told you all the plans that we have for the back of that area, and they're postponed just briefly, but they'll be back on track. So he is trying to get some of those things taken care of. I don't know if I can beat him or not. I'm not up to running this morning. Go get the plastic bags and get all this mess picked up. I think that's what I'll do before I go back inside to work. All right. Well, I'm shaking y'all all over the place, and I know that this cannot be enjoyable. So, but I got it out of the way. Gave him a nice space to come through. And the garden does look much better. It does look like I'm going to have to walk through and find bits of plastic that we had used early in the year. If you remember, the cattle stomped on it, put big holes in it. So I'll walk through and get all that out. So I got it moved. Now he's going in the front, in the front of the wagon. All right, y'all. I will get off of here and let you get back to your day. I need to get to my day, and I will talk to you later. Love you much. Bye-bye.